Welcome back. We're talking with the University of Detroit Mercy's head women's lacrosse coach, Dwayne Hicks. And Dwayne, this will be the last time we get a chance to talk to each other about the 2023 spring. Coming off a real tough loss yesterday against Kent State at home, 16-15, if I'm not mistaken. And you finish up the season on Saturday against Eastern Michigan. So, talk a little bit about last night, because it was obviously a good game for you guys.
I think it was a really good game to watch. The scores were probably, I mean, if you look at it, it goes 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2, all the way up. So it was a very exciting game, and I think we played up to our potential. We played to the level that we've been practicing at and have been doing all year. I mean, we finally came together and clicked a little bit last night as a team.
Do you break down your 3-10? But I started looking at stats the other day, and for the most part, you're in most categories. You're only off by 5 or 8% against opponents, with a couple of exceptions. Goals scored, in which you've been outscored about 75 goals more than your opponent scored 75 more times, and draw controls, where you're really kind of behind on that team. Well, if you lose draws, which is less opportunity, would obviously account for more scores.
Right.
Statistically, you're in most games, and if you look statistically, you're pretty clear to the opponent. Nobody's running away from it. But when you look at stats and you see that you're losing a draw control, do you work more on those kind of parts of the game, or do stats become just a portion of what you look at and isn't as important as the overall product?
No, I think it goes back to what is the most important part of the game. And I think draw controls, free possession shots, and penalties are make and break of the game. For example, last night, we did really well in draw controls. We controlled it. We won, I'd probably say 60% of the draws, which evens out the game, which allows it to be a very even game if the draws are even. If one team is dominating draws, you've got no shot at winning the game. And then it comes down to free possession shots, which, again, if one team is getting more free possession shots, they're going to score more. And that's the difference. It comes down to the difference of the game. So we do look at stats and we do work on draws. It's just like the men's game who have the Fogos. If Denver won a national championship because they dominated at the X. So you got to work on the little things, which is draw control, free possession shots. Absolutely.
I asked the question because analytics have become so important in sport. And with all the applications from huddle assist to any number of things, I think it's becoming more media-driven and data-driven than anything else. And I sometimes wonder if we pay attention as much as we should. Because obviously numbers don't lie.
No, and just like film. When we watch film, we're watching the little things and you go, that's it. Look at your hand there, or you got to make that pass, or there's the matchup we were working on that we took advantage of, or, this girl plays in this position, 25% of the time, let's move her over here and move her over there. It's a lot of it is film work and what we call, tactics, and, these are players' habits. Because once you get into a game, you are going to go to your habits. A player goes to their habits. In 3 steps, she's going to roll dodge. If she does this, it's going to roll dodge. In a draw control, watch for her eyes. You see that? She did this. It's the tell. So where the ball's going.
We talk all the time as coaches about consistency. And I had a chance one time to ask a couple of very great NBA coaches, about why they were maybe not liked, but everybody sought them out. They said, well, the biggest thing was that they helped that player develop a consistent game, and consistent game in the NBA, and for that matter, most professional sports, was a higher contract. You can count on a guy every night to get 19, 12, and 2 versus 51 night and they don't see him for 5 games. The consistency factor is what every coach wants from a player.
Right.
Because now you know what to depend on. And I
Right.
think that's something that stats give you to some extent.
Absolutely. It'll tell you when we look at stats, the very first thing I look at are goals and assists. I think I've said this before. When if I look at a team and they've got 50 goals and 4 assists, I know I'm gonna be playing against a driving team. I know it. And they're not going to pass the ball. Once they put their head down, they're going to the goal and they're going to take the shot. They're not going to look for their teammates. We got to send a double early and stop her and make her move the ball. And that's the strategy you work on.
I can think of one, maybe twice in my entire coaching career where I've had stats that were much better than the opponent and the opponent won. That just doesn't happen. There's obviously it's an anomaly, but it just doesn't happen. So, is what
Right.
it is. Eastern Michigan finish up the season. Talk a little bit about Eastern. You're out of any playoffs at this point, I'm guessing.
Yes, we're out at this point. Kent State, if we'd beaten Kent State, we would have had a slim, slim, slim chance if 3 other people lost games. So we lost to Kent State, and so we're out. So we know who the 4 MAC teams are going to be, and we wish them luck. We play Eastern on Saturday, 4:30 at their place. Um, you know, we beat them the first time, but that doesn't mean anything in the MAC. You're still going to have to come out and play. Eastern is out, we're out, so this is basically a game of pride. So those are the ones where you got to really show up, show out. We're in the middle of finals right now, so our girls aren't getting a lot of sleep. But you still got to show up on Saturday, and we plan to.
And you hit the recruiting trail after that and
Absolutely.
start the cycle all over again.
All over. So
Okay.
next season starts next Monday.
Okay. Well, listen, we appreciate the time you spent with us this season. It's been an interesting one with weather and all the challenges that come with spring. But Dwayne, I think you've done a great job so far this year, and hopefully a better year next year for 2024. And
All
I
right.
appreciate spending
Well,
some time
thanks, Greg. I
with
appreciate the
us.
time and doing this for Detroit Mercy. We like I said, we appreciate any exposure we can get. And hey, it was a tough season, but it was a good season. We got a lot of good underclassmen coming back, and we've got a really talented group of girls coming in next year. So I'm looking forward to a very exciting 23-24.
Have a great summer.
All right. Thanks, Greg.